There's one night in TNA that can drastically change the course of a man's career.
Whether you win or lose, there's no doubt in my mind, you'll be having a year taken off your career with the brutality that is being inside a steel cage match.
An event so brutal, so dangerous, it can only happen once a year. That event is Lockdown.
I remember a few years ago, sitting in the back, it was Kurt Angle versus Ken Anderson, and he went for the moonsault off the top of that big cage, and it took my breath, and that don't happen too much.
The moonsault I did, you don't really think. You know, I went up there, I gave a sign of the cross, and I just went. If you start thinking is when you start doubting yourself. And when I went up there, as you noticed, I didn't hesitate.
I mean, last year at Lockdown, Chris Daniels jumped from on top of the cage to the floor. That takes balls.
Every time I think of Lockdown, I can't help but remember the time I climbed the ladder on top of the cage and put James Storm through a table.
We really do put it all out there. We put more than it all out there. We're putting our career out there is what we're doing.
Tonight on Before the Bell, we take a special look at this year's Lockdown main event. Former friends and tag partners collide as Cowboy James Storm goes one-on-one with the it factor of professional wrestling, World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Roode.
I'm gonna kick you and I'm taking that World Heavyweight Championship.
You think that beer bottle shot 4 months ago hurt? Do you think that beer bottle shot shaked up the world, shaked up this company? That's gonna be nothing compared to what I'm gonna do to you inside that steel cage in Nashville at Lockdown.
They've gone from best of friends to bitter rivals. And now, in one of the most anticipated matches in Impact Wrestling history, only one will be called champion.
When he hit me with that beer bottle, that pretty much sealed his fate.
Bobby stabbed James in the back at the pinnacle of his career on one of the nights that was the most important in his career. When a man's back is against the rope and he feels like he has something to prove to himself, if he feels he has nothing to lose, there's no telling what he'll do.
On April 15th in Nashville, Tennessee, can the Cowboy James Storm become the new World Heavyweight Champion in front of a raucous hometown crowd?
When we step in that cage in Nashville, Tennessee, he better not be afraid of just me inside of that cage. He better be afraid of trying to get to that cage.
I've never seen my brother like this. Bobby doesn't know what he has done.
And when we get in that cage and that door locks, respect is gone.
Before the Bell, Lockdown starts now.
I believe in the history of TNA Impact, this match with James Storm and Bobby Roode should be the biggest because these two guys have been there for all 10 years. They have made names for themselves right here, and they have beaten the Kurt Angles and the Jeff Jarretts and the Stings and the Jeff Hardys, and they have proven to everybody that they deserve to be in the main event at Lockdown.
This is a huge match. I don't think any other match between homegrown TNA talent has meant so much. Storm and Roode have both pushed and forced themselves to the forefront of this company, doing whatever they have to do to get there. And in this business, that's what you gotta do. Nashville, in that cage, one of those guys is gonna come out, probably the biggest world champion in this company's history.
The long history between Bobby Roode and James Storm dates back to the earliest days of TNA wrestling.
In the early years, my very first day, I remember walking into the fairgrounds in Nashville. You know, virtually I was an unknown, you know, and nobody really knew who I was. I was just a young guy from Toronto, Canada, trying to make his way in the professional wrestling business.
Are you guys ready for this? Yeah. Just like all the time. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
The earliest memories with TNA is struggling because we were virtually unknown guys, me and Chris Harris, because we were basically put together at the very beginning of TNA, and nobody knew who we were. So we had to work double time to basically prove ourselves to the world.
I knew that I had to go out and prove myself. I knew deep down inside the confidence level that I had. I knew that I was ready for this big step.
This little baby right here, this symbolizes comeback.
the comeback that Team Canada has made right here in TNA.
When you had guys like Scott Hall, Jeff Jarrett, these guys who had already established themselves. So it was kind of an uphill battle. And that's the early memories I have of TNA is, showing the world that I did belong.
I remember my first match, being a part of Team Canada. For some reason, the people in America hate Canadians for whatever reason. So we went out there to a chorus of boos. The match itself, I remember going very, very well, coming to the back and feeling very proud of what I did.
Being here since day one, I've seen everybody come and go, and if you'd have told me that there'd only be 2 people left on the active roster, me and AJ Styles, since day one, and I wouldn't have put my money on me, that's for sure, because the cards were stacked against me.
Ultimately, daily, as I grew in this company, year after year, month after month, day after day, seemingly, my confidence grew that much more, and here I am today, the World Heavyweight Champion.
Back then, nobody, and I mean nobody, nobody gave us a chance to survive. Nobody gave me a chance, and that's the people that I love. People say, why don't you hate those people? No, those people make me strive to try even harder so I can prove them wrong, because I love proving people wrong. And for all the people that said I couldn't be here, the people said that I wouldn't be here 10 years later, people say that I'm only a tag team wrestler, people say that I'll never be a world champion. Watch lockdown, because I'm going to prove you wrong again. Me and Bobby, we worked together a lot, when he was Team Canada and I was AMW, so we were very familiar with each other. And when they came to us and said they were going to put us together, at first we were kind of like, man, this, he's Canadian, I'm from the South, it's two different worlds, colliding.
The whole Beer Money name and everything that came up in an interview backstage, James Storm says the 2 things that make the world go round are beer and money. And, just clicked. Something was there.
You're looking at 2 men, not 2 dummies, boys. You're the kind of people that sit on your couch, eating your nachos, getting as fat as you can, thinking that you can do what we do.
Me and Bobby got together. We wasn't really for sure how the team was going to work out because we're 2 different guys.
What are they going to do to us, JB? Because the real question is, what is Beer Money going to do to them? What will Beer Money do to any one of those morons who thinks they're going to come within 10 feet of us tonight?
Both of us took a lot of pride in that tag team because it was people saying, oh, they're just some guys throw together, they won't last long, that they can't make it as a tag team, and we proved them wrong. So for us to prove everybody wrong and for people to call us one of the greatest tag teams in history, that's a true honor to both of us. And I don't know what happened along the course of the way, but for Bobby to tarnish what we built, I get all kind of emails and stuff today, of people saying kick Bobby Roode's butt because he broke up one of the greatest tag teams that were around. And I think some people feel like they were gypped out of seeing what else Beer Money had in store.
There was something between the 2 of us that just sparked. I lit something in him and he lit something in me, and together at that point, we were unstoppable as a team.
Beer Money went on to win 4 TNA World Tag Team Championships and became the faces of tag team wrestling throughout the entire world. Along the way, they became the best of friends.
In this business, it's professional wrestling. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and you don't have a lot of friends. And when James and I formed Beer Money, we became very good friends and traveled up and down the roads together. Basically became ultimately like brothers. As a tag team, we were a tag team in the ring and out of the ring.
They were one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling at one point, and myself, being a former, tag team guy, it's always cool, whenever I fought Matt, it's brother versus brother, and it's pretty much the same thing with them, although they're not blood brothers. They were so close at one time, and now they're so distant and far, so it's just going to be phenomenal because James Storm, I'm sure, wants to be that champion more than anything right now, and he's going to do whatever it takes to become that champion in his hometown of Nashville.
My dad told me something when I was very young that always sticks to me. He said, the world meets nobody halfway. If you want something, you got to take it. And that's how I am. If something gets me down, I'm not going to wait for somebody to hand me something. I'm going to bust my butt to earn it. I'm training as hard as I've ever trained in my life because this is something that I believe in. This is something that I want. I don't want it given to me. I want to earn this. And at Lockdown, I earn the right to be the #1 contender, and I'm going to earn the right to be the World Heavyweight Champion of TNA.
June of 2011, Storm and Roode earned a spot in the Bound for Glory series. It was the opportunity of a lifetime.
You know, when the Bound for Glory series came up, me and Bobby both talked that this is an opportunity, not just for one of us, but for both of us, to take ourselves to the next step. Because when you get into wrestling, you don't get into wrestling to be second best. Second sucks. And so when the Bound for Glory series, me and Bobby said, you know, if it comes down to me and him, may the better man win. We're not going to take shortcuts, you know, so be it. And you know, Bobby won it.
Bobby Roode was catapulted into the main event at Bound for Glory.
I was sitting there, you know, I was way up in the crowd watching. And I can see the look on Bobby's face, and nobody really knew that look but me. He poured so much into that match, and you know, I know that feeling. To come up short in a match like that, it hurts.
I did what I had to do to win. You know, what's that saying that your partner always says? What's that saying? Sorry about your damn luck.
Catchphrase, Kurt, and here comes the Tennessee Cowboy.
Tonight, for the world title in this ring, you're gonna face James Storm. Right here tonight, in the Impact Zone. It's gonna happen. Signed, sealed, delivered, done.
Sting told me that I was gonna get the shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, you know, and I still thought it was Bobby's opportunity because he got screwed out of it. But, you know, Bobby said, this is your chance. You know, the same speech I gave to him, he gave to me. This is your opportunity to better yourself, to better your family, to better your life, to prove everybody wrong. This is your chance to be the World Heavyweight Champion.
And tonight, it is for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, you don't know what Bobby Roode told James Storm. He might have given a whole scout report on Kurt, so Kurt could be in trouble here. But right now, Kurt's in total control. Oh,
God! Holy cow! Super kick!
What a shot!
Storm the champ!
The new heavyweight champion of the world, the Cowboy, James Storm! Are you kidding me or what? James Storm is the new world champion? Holy crap!
First ever world title match. The Cowboy cashes in. Last call super kicks. Takes out Angle.
Gotta get him on Mikey.
James Storm's the new world champ.
I can't believe this.
You know, after I won the World Heavyweight Championship, I knew it was just a matter of time before me and Bobby locked horns. And 2 weeks later, here we are. You know, it was something that we wanted. We wanted the guys who who helped build this company to be on top, to be fighting for that World Heavyweight Championship. And this is the moment. This is the opportunity that we wanted, that we waited for. And we were going to go out there as men, and we were going to wrestle each other as men, and we were going to shake hands with each other at the end of the match as men. And what happens?
One man that's been by my damn side the whole time, my tag team partner, Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode gets a shot at his best friend's title. #1 contender to his longtime Beer Money tag team partner and best friend.
All the success that I've gotten in my career, I owe it to you. You've been my best friend for 4 years. Been like a brother to me.
He's my brother. I'll do anything in this world for him. This is what it's all about.
What happened, Rip? He looks like he tweaked or hurt his knee.
Let's give all these people in Macon, Georgia, exactly what they came here to see. Whoever the victor is will be known as the better man.
It's disgusting. I cannot believe Bobby Roode went to that level.
It's all I ever wished for. It's all I ever dreamed about. I made it happen all by myself.
We've crowned a new world champion in Bobby Roode.
I am a true main eventer. This says it right here. It's mine. It's mine.
That's how you treat a brother?
This is my time. This is my era. Bobby Roode is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And there isn't anything or anybody that's going to get in my way.
Bobby Roode, we were brothers. We were blood. It's time for me to just get that out of my face. You know, getting to the locker room after that match and kind of realizing what happened. It's one of those moments that I really don't like remembering, because this is a guy that for the last 4 years, me and him, we were like family. I mean, we were like brothers. We traveled the road so much. We were together with each other more than we were with our families.
I mean, as much as James is such a tough guy, this really bothered him, having Bobby do that to him. And they were so close, and they're always on the road together. I feel like Bobby saw James more than I did. You know, they're always gone, and to see that happen was a big shock to everybody.
Yeah, after the split of Beer Money, my brother called me, and he's pretty devastated. You know, when you spend 3 years on the road with a guy day in and day out, traveling from town to town, sharing cars, planes, you know, you get a bond. And my brother was devastated, you know, when that came in. He was ultimately hurt and felt betrayed.
Bobby stabbed James in the back at the pinnacle of his career on one of the nights that was the most important in his career, when he had something to prove to himself and to his family. And quite frankly, when a man's back is against the rope and he feels like he has something to prove to himself, if he feels he has nothing to lose and he's been betrayed by the people he cares about, there's no telling what he'll do.
To see my brother laying in the ring, bleeding, and Bobby standing over him, spitting on him, I mean, it just pissed me off.
For him to take a shortcut like this, for him basically to throw away what the last 4 years we built, what the last 10 years we built with this company. I mean, he basically is spitting in the face of this company. When he hit me with that beer bottle, that pretty much sealed his fate.
Storm lost his best friend and the World Championship in a matter of one night. But this cowboy is no stranger to overcoming adversity.
You know, my dad, he passed away when I was 12 years old. We didn't have much growing up, but, you know, me and my brother at the time, we didn't know it. My mom gave us what we could. You know, she worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. My 2 stepbrothers were killed by a drunk driver when I was 15. My stepdad died when I was 16. Then my grandmother passed away when I was 18 years old. So even though the deal with me and Bobby's not really a death, it kind of is, because every time in my life I seem like things are going right and I'm on the right track and stuff's going good, something always bad happens. And now I look at this as me and Bobby had a good run, 3.5, 4 years, and now something bad happens. Even though it's not a death, to me it kind of is, and now I have to pick up myself and start over and prove myself to the world that I can do this.
He's fought very hard to get here. The Bobby Roode, it's a little hard for me to handle with Bobby Roode right now, because I didn't think Bobby would do that to him. James is going to come out on top on lockdown. Personally, I hope he does take Bobby Roode down big time. James has earned to get where he's at. Bobby Roode hasn't.
He's working very hard. I mean, he's training night and day. I don't know if it's mental or... I've never seen my brother like this. I've known him my whole life, and Bobby doesn't know what he has done.
Bobby Roode learned from his crushing defeat at Bound for Glory that championship gold could only be raised if he was willing to go all the way.
Was I happy with my performance in the match at Bound for Glory? Yes and no. I was happy that I was able to compete with a guy like Kurt Angle, but I was upset at the fact that I lost to Kurt Angle. It made me realize that in today's society, you have to win at all costs, no matter what.
Real great world champion we've got, huh? A guy that turns his back on his best friends.
I am the leader of the selfish generation. I am the it factor of professional wrestling.
Bobby, you're a selfish person.
Bobby's not seeing how selfish he's being.
I'm sick and tired of the way he's acting. And if he thinks he's going to continue to get away with it, he is sorely mistaken.
This is a new generation. This is a generation of selfishness. And I am the leader of the new generation.
How do you tell a 7-year-old who watches his dad cheat that that's not okay to do? Why did daddy turn on his partner? Why did daddy hit him with a beer bottle? Why is daddy cheating? All I can look at them and say is, you know what? What daddy did was wrong.
Doing things the right way in today's society gets you absolutely nothing. It gets you nowhere. This is a dog-eat-dog world. I ate James Storm for lunch, and that stupid, sorry son of a didn't see it coming.
I don't think he really realizes what he's doing to the family.
I'd rather see him lose the belt than to continue being the way he is. I don't have my brother anymore.
There's definitely going to be a time that I'm going to look at him and say, you've got to change.
He's going to find that he's given up a lot to get what he thought he wanted. And I think I'd like to see him give it up and start again and do it the right way.
What he's done is unacceptable, and I think he knows that. I'm hoping somewhere down deep he knows that. Wake up. Just wake up.
On April 15th at Lockdown, Cowboy James Storm comes home to Nashville, Tennessee. Former friends, now bitter rivals, will settle the score once and for all.
You know, if I know the people in Nashville, Tennessee, when Bobby Roode walks into that building, he better be afraid. And I'm not meaning just be afraid of getting into that cage with me. He better be afraid of even getting to the cage, because
When he goes around and he starts disrespecting people and he starts laying his hands on a woman, people in the South, we don't tolerate that stuff. You lay your hands on a woman, you're not a man.
Bobby Roode has become perhaps the most ruthless individual this company's ever seen. So, hometown or not, I just don't think he's ready. He's worked too damn hard to get to that. But I know personally how hard Bobby Roode has worked to get that belt. And I don't think Nashville, Canada, wherever, he's not going to give it up.
Obviously, there's a big build-up to this match. These two men are no strangers to each other. They've been World Tag Team Champions, and now they've been at each other's throats for months and months. And I know that a lot of people feel that James Storm has some momentum going in, but I can tell you, Bobby Roode is like myself. He's a champion of champions, and nobody's going to beat him and take his title. He will do whatever it takes to make sure that that strap stays where it belongs. And I think that the fans are in for a treat, and I think we're in for a treat as well.
Bobby Roode's going to find out. It's not just Americans that hate him. It's people all over the world. People that work hard for their money. People that work hard and don't take shortcuts. People that every day they get up, they punch a time clock. They come home and they kiss their wife and their kids goodnight just to get up the next morning to do it again. Bobby Roode disrespects all those kind of people. People that make the world go round, basically. People that give him a job. People that tune into Impact that are disrespected by Bobby Roode. When we step in that cage in Nashville, Tennessee, he better not be afraid of just me inside of that cage. He better be afraid of trying to get to that cage.
You know, James, the question that you need to ask yourself is this. For as long as you've known me, for as long as we've worked together in this company for some 8 years, since you've known me, since I walked through the door here, look at everything that I've overcome. Everything. All the nights that you and I went out there together as a team and defended the World Tag Team titles when we had them. Or when we went out there and we won the World Tag Team titles. Think about it. Who was the guy that carried you to those championships? It was me. I was the man that made you who you are. Look at everything that I've accomplished since I kicked your curb. I am the World Heavyweight Champion, the most dominant champion in the history of this company, and you know it, and you're jealous of it. So now at lockdown, you want to come in to your own backyard in Nashville, Tennessee, in front of all your friends and all your family, and you want to battle me, you want to fight me for the World Heavyweight Championship. You, Storm, are nothing but an embarrassment to this company. A long-haired, beer-drinking redneck who doesn't even deserve to be in the same ring as Bobby Roode. Get the hint, Storm. There is nothing that I won't do to keep this World Heavyweight Championship in my possession. In that cage, I will stop at nothing to prove to the world that I've always been better than you and that you are nothing but a loser.
Can the Cowboy stop the leader of the selfish generation and become the new world champion? It's one of the most anticipated matches in Impact Wrestling history. Don't miss Lockdown, live Sunday, April 15th from Nashville, Tennessee. Presented by Direct Auto Insurance, only on pay-per-view.
Betrayed me, Bobby Roode. You broke an unbreakable bond on April 15th at Lockdown inside a steel cage. I will have my revenge. You will see just how far I am willing to go. He is going to get the beating of his life. I'm going to kick him, and I'm taking that World Heavyweight Championship.
TNA Wrestling and Direct Auto Insurance present Lockdown, live April 15th, only on pay-per-view.